There are dozens of stories pertaining to cursed objects that have wreaked absolute havoc on people's lives. What's most misunderstood about cursed objects is the belief that they are demonically possessed. However, in truth, only people can be demonically possessed. Cursed objects, on the other hand, can be negatively controlled through curses. Cursed objects are objects that have had the opposite of a blessing done to them. So instead of having grace attached to the object, making it holy, a demon has been attached to the object, making it evil. Now that I have explained to you the basic concept of cursed objects, I present to you Annabelle. Before we get into today's story, if you're a fan of the dark and mysterious with a little tarot thrown in for good measure, then I am the girl for you. I upload 2 to 3 times a week on this channel, and if you're really a fan of tarot, you can join me on my other channel, Jennifer Walker Zen. So if that's of interest to you, I would ask you to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my uploads. Now, let's get back into today's story. Our story begins in 1970 when a nursing student named Deetra Bernard received for her 25th birthday a Raggedy Ann doll from her mother. It was kind of a quirky gift, but the thought behind the gift was it would bring a sense of charm to the apartment. She shared with her fellow nursing student, Laura Clifton. Deetra accepted the gift in good spirits and placed the doll with the arms and legs extended in a greeting fashion at the head of her bed. A few days later, she noticed the arms and the legs were in a completely different position from how she originally placed them. This was the first sign that things weren't quite as they seemed. 2 weeks later, Deetra began to notice something even more disturbing. The doll began to be found in different rooms in the apartment without explanation. No one remembered moving it, no one remembered seeing it before. It would be just in there one moment and gone the next. At this point, both Deetra and Laura knew something was going on with the doll, but were putting in very long hours and were both constantly exhausted. So it began easier to blame each other when it came to the doll. That, however, was about to change. One night, Deetra, Laura, and Laura's fiance, Kyle, all came home together. As soon as they opened the door, they were shocked to see the doll kneeling in a chair in front of the door, staring at them. Terrified and confused, they removed the doll from the front of the door and tried to recreate the scene they had just witnessed. They tried repositioning the doll, they tried bending its arms and legs, but nothing worked. The doll simply was not rigid enough to hold it. In an upright position, after several hours, they finally came to the realization that it was some kind of force. Shortly after the incident, notes written in pencil on parchment paper began to manifest throughout the apartment. The notes included such phrases as, "Help us," or "We need your help." Deetra nor her roommate had the slightest clue as to what these letters meant. Despite spending countless hours trying to decipher the notes, things went on like this for a while, until suddenly things took a more dangerous and more sinister turn. One night after a long shift, both Deetra and Laura came home together, only to find the doll in the middle of the floor. Its hands covered with blood, with droplets of blood all over its chest. Terrified and confused, they reached out to a psychic medium. During the seance, the medium claimed to channel the spirit of a 7-year-old girl. The spirit claimed to be lonely, in search of love and companionship. The spirit told the medium that her name was Annabelle, and that she wanted to live in the doll. Upon hearing this, both Deetra and Laura enthusiastically gave permission, enabling the doll to, in essence, become Annabelle. Thinking that they were now dealing with the spirit of a 7-year-old girl, Deetra and Laura began treating Annabelle like a real person. Kyle, on the other hand, deeply disagreed with treating Annabelle as anything other than a doll. This was mainly due to an uneasy feeling he couldn't shake. The feeling that something was off. His refusal to accept Annabelle did not go unnoticed, especially by Annabelle. Kyle began having very dark, violent, and bloody nightmares about Annabelle. Most of these nightmares consisted of him being attacked by Annabelle. A few nights later, Laura and Kyle were alone in the apartment enjoying a movie when they heard a loud banging from Teacher's room. So Kyle went to investigate the cause of the noise. Upon entering the room, he saw Annabelle lying on the floor. He bent over to place the doll back on the bed when suddenly he felt his chest being clawed. These deep claw marks were scratched across Kyle's chest and were bleeding through his shirt. At this point, it became clear that not just Kyle's life, but everyone's life was in danger. After a brief conversation, it was decided to contact a local priest for help. The local priest contacted his superiors, who passed on the story of Annabelle to the paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren. After listening to Deidre, Laura, and Kyle's story, it was determined that Annabelle was not the spirit of a lonely girl, but was in fact a demon that had tricked and coerced them into inviting it into their lives, putting them all in extreme danger. The Warrens immediately request an exorcism, which was performed successfully. Additionally, they personally removed Annabelle from the apartment, ending Deidre, Laura, and Kyle's torment. According to the Warrens, during the transport, Annabelle on several occasions tried to interfere with the brakes and the steering wheel of their vehicle, attempting to cause a fatal accident. It was only after Ed Warren splashed Annabelle with holy water that he was able to regain control of the car. After returning home, the Warrens claimed Annabelle would levitate and transport to different rooms in the house. In spite of all this going on, the Warrens still believe they were well equipped to handle Annabelle. However, that all changed when a young priest visiting the Warrens insulted the doll, calling her a rag doll that couldn't hurt anyone. Later that day, the young priest was in a near fatal car accident. This incident, coupled with a few other car accidents, one of which was fatal, prompted Ed Warren to place Annabelle in a blessed glass case. Now that you know the story, let's go to my investigation room. Hello, my darlings. I want to welcome you to my investigation room, and I want to preface this on the fact that this is for entertainment purposes only. So I decided the best way to approach this situation or this story was to really just ask a series of yes or no questions to get a better understanding of what was going on here. So the first question that I asked, was Annabelle a demonically possessed object? Okay, and I got a yes. So it's interesting because this card is called for the, Kipper is a recognition card. So it's almost like there was some kind of recognition given to someone else or some kind of ceremony that took place possibly. That's what it looks like or feels like to me in this card. And it was a person was getting some kind of victory or recognition or fame or something to do with that, which caused this to kind of go on to this doll. That's what I feel like here, okay? So something was brought to light, something was brought on it from a ceremony, it looks like to me. We see that there were some changes here, okay? Because of some kind of travel, movement or change, so it could have come from far away. We also see that there was some kind of small meeting that took place, okay? And we see that there was this letter, this message, someone who received something, because it's something you get in your hand. This is like the letter, but also if you look at the Lenormand, it also can talk about that the letter card can be something to do with the hand. Someone's receiving something in their hand, okay, from this meeting. And we see that this was far away, okay? Something that this object came from far away, okay? Okay, so the next question that we're gonna talk about, is Annabelle in a secure location? Okay. It does say yes. There is 2 positive cards here. There's a neutral card as well, but the 2 positive cards are the bouquet card and the moon card, which does point to yes. The first card was the bear card. So what it says is that there was this, there's this sense of control and this surprise and something that's recognized about this. Okay. We see that there is this feminine energy and we see emotions. Okay. And we see luck here, okay? So a feminine energy, gain control, emotional, some kind of surprise, recognized, and lucky, okay? Or a risk here, took the risk. So feminine energy took the risk, okay? And then going down further here, the Fox card talks about some, you know, deceptions or smart, because boxes can be something a situation where somebody was trying to be very smart, and we talk about spiritual, okay, and a conversation about this. Okay, so, and our final question is Annabelle still dangerous? Okay, it's saying yes and no. It looks like there's this masculine energy right now that's trying to be of service, and we see luck and fortune, okay? But that could be taken away. There could be some issues there. So if they take that away, okay, something to do with that situation, and we go down further here, we see that there is a commitment here because of money or finance, and we see people. We see that there is also a feminine who wants to be of service, and possibly another masculine energy, and something to do with a reunion or somebody or some people from the past, or something to do with a situation from the past. Okay, so there's an awareness that there is issues around this situation. So maybe possibly if this masculine energy, you know, can't, you know, basically maintain this, it does look like there's other people that were going to put money into this commitment to make that happen, okay? Because they're aware of something to do with the past energy or something that happened before with this situation. All right, my darlings, as again, I want to preface this is entertainment purposes only. So my darlings, I love you guys so much, and you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and what other stories do you want me to cover in the next stories. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys soon.